Hi, everybody. Uh, you may notice we're not on a bridge. We're actually across from the Port of Oakland, right outside one of the entrance or exits. Just delivered to a refrigerated warehouse that I believe actually gets put on containers and then put through the port onto a ship. I'm not 100% sure. I believe it gets exported or moved elsewhere. But that's not the subject of this video. Subject of this video is I found one. I found the elusive, highly debated mobile C.A.R.B station checkpoint thing going on, and you can probably see it on the other side of that gate, on the other side of the fence right in front of us. So we're going to roll through it, and then if I get pulled in, I'll try to leave it running, but if you ask me not to, then I won't, obviously, because I'm not getting a ticket for YouTube. But they do exist, and you'll at least see what it looks like one way or the other, whether I got to go through it or not. So let's take a ride. Oh, I was told there wasn't enough weather reports in the videos. It's currently 55 degrees in Oakland, California. There's no breeze. It's pretty overcast. So, now you know. Let's see if they roll me or not. Go ahead. Ms. Jetta, get on down. All right. Looks like he's got no one pulled in currently. Go on my side or that side. So let's see. Let's see if they want me or not. Okay. Looks like we are getting pulled in. So I'm going to take my headset off and leave it down, and you can just get the audio of it. Doing well today. How about yourself?
Inspection. They're going to check the reefer unit, compliance of the motors, and all that kind of stuff.
On the reefer? Okay, sounds good.
I think get my truck as well.
Okay.
Just license registration is all we need.
I got you. No problem.
And they'll check everything and they'll get you out of here.
Okay, sounds good. So that's the state. That's that C.A.R.B checks, huh?
Check.
Okay.
It sure is. Yeah, so you need to be a part of it.
Well, lucky
Yeah,
me.
right?
Here you go, sir.
All right, very good. So just give me a couple minutes here.
All right.
And they'll be back up. They're going to have you. They'll just run through some checks.
Okay, no problem.
Just be careful if you wait over here. Better wait on the other side of the traffic.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, I don't know if I have audio or not. The DOT inspector seems pretty cool. You probably can't hear him, but here we go. Here's the C.A.R.B guy. Let's see what he has to say.
How you doing today?
Doing well, then. How about yourself?
Awesome, man. Awesome. My name's Armand with California Air Resources Board. We're doing roadside inspections today.
Yes, sir.
Things we're checking for is your engine label. Make sure your engine label is on there. We can read it. Everything's connected in your engine.
Okay.
We're also going to plug it to your OBD to pull some emissions data. Do
Okay.
you have anything plugged in right now? Electronic locks or anything?
No, sir. It's open.
Okay, perfect. Can I have you turn on the engine all the way? We're also going to check your dashboard. Make sure you have your check engine light.
Okay. You need me to start the truck, or you just need the key in the on?
Turn all the
Okay.
way on for me.
Okay.
Perfect. Can you open it up? And my coworker's going to grab his computer.
All right.
I'm going to have you open up the hood.
Yes, sir.
The engine hood on the truck and the engine hood on the TRU.
All right, will do. You need a title?
Should be okay.
Do you need the truck idling, or can I shut it off?
You can leave it on.
Okay.
I'll just take a quick peek.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Real-time data, or what's that doing?
Yeah, going to your information off the computer of the trucks.
Okay.
Checking the emissions
Right.
components, making sure everything's working correctly. So in just a couple minutes, we'll get the report back.
Okay. Am I good to shut the hood?
Let me ask my coworker, but I think you should do it.
All right. Oh, I hope the camera caught some of that. We'll see. He's going to give me my little printout in a minute here. So they basically just did a 3, just a paper check. I'm in on empty, so I didn't have to give them anything about bills or anything. They popped the hatch on the reefer. Well, they had me do it to make sure it was a 2010 or newer engine of over, I believe he said 25 horsepower. The reefer I have is a 2020 unit, so that was legit. And then I opened the hood, and he, I believe I wasn't able to follow that part because I was busy opening the reefer. I don't know if he just looked at the engine tag or was physically doing it, and they've been hooked up to my ECU up under the dash there on my OBD port, and he unplugged that, and as you see them in the van, they're doing whatever it is they do with that info. So for those of you saying they can't, he didn't force me to comply. One, this is a company truck, so why would I not? But even if I was an owner operator, they do have law enforcement here. That was an actual DOT CHP officer I originally encountered, and then the gentleman wearing all the safety vests. As you can probably read, says C.A.R.B enforcement. I don't know what would have happened if I told him no, you can't plug into my ECM, and I wasn't trying to find out for YouTube. So hang with me if you're still watching, and let's see what he comes back and says. Actually, I think I'm going to shut it off and maybe get a little better audio. Which is kind of ironic because we have a 5-minute idle law here in California. He told me go ahead and let it idle. It's okay. Very respectful. Give him that. Very polite and respectful. Introduce himself, etc. Is that all I need?
Yep, that's all we need.
All right, thank you, sir.
You have a good one.
Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm just curious because this is the first one of these type of checkpoints I've been through. Nothing as far as emissions verification. No paperwork I need for anything like that.
Nope, nothing. So what we do is we run a scan. When your truck is a 2012 engine, what we're looking for is 2013 engine. So we'll run a scan. So for your newer trucks, if you drive a newer truck,
yes, sir.
I use the standard is we'll run a scan and it'll show us a pass or fail in our new system.
Okay.
So it'll come back to us. We'll wait a couple minutes and it'll give us pass or fail.
Okay.
Pass or good, fail, that means there's something wrong with it. We'll have you look into it, get it fixed. And,
I got you. Okay. And as far as the check engine, is that an automatic fail if you have a check engine on the dash? Or is that right? Can you actually be red tagged and shut down roadside for that?
Oh, we don't red tag it or shut it down.
Okay.
That'd be depend on CSP. We had one yesterday, but they had a bunch of other issues.
Sure.
So that kind of caused that to alleviate it. But what we'll do is we'll issue a citation.
Okay.
And you have to follow up. It's usually about a month or so. You get it paperwork, and then they'll send you. You have to send a proof of correction. Maybe
sure.
Send it to a mechanic. Send us an invoice. Once you pay that citation, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's on and you have a truck with a check engine light, then I would say
it's just
in there. Yep.
Just a no-go, huh?
Yep.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah, because it's one of those things when you end up getting a citation for something you're gonna fix anyway. So.
Right. That's true.
And the other thing is the engine label. That's one of the things we look for.
Yes, sir.
Don't like to write those citations. It's usually $300.
Is that right?
Have you go spend $150, $200 to get the label replaced. So
okay.
If you ever run into it, you don't see that engine label, and it doesn't see, you can't see the engine year.
Yeah.
Get it replaced.
All right. Good to know. Okay.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Hey,
you do the same. Thank you. Interesting. Okay. I hope you were able to hear any of that. I'll probably play this back and it'll be nothing but garbage because of my garbage audio, but I know you weren't able to hear the officer. I can kind of recap what he said. He looked at me funny because I kept repeating everything back, but he was very polite. Nothing negative to say about an attitude on his part or anyone I just dealt with. Inconvenient? Absolutely, but if we're going to truck in California, we're just going to have to learn to live with this, right? All right, let me get back on the road and I'll do a little recap. Okay, so I asked him if I needed any proof of pass or fail. He said no. All he handed me back was my license, the registration for the truck, which, you know, everyone knows about that at any scale you get pulled into. I didn't want to ask him about what if you refused, because I just don't want to put myself in that situation. I run all over the Bay Area constantly, and I bet you that is not the last time I'll encounter those guys. So, you know, why put yourself on on blast, as it were? So what I asked him, I'll fix this real fast. Okay, so what I was asking him is what he's looking for, and he said the engine tag, which is the label, and they're looking for 20 or he just said 2013 or newer, and this says 17, so that was fine. But I should have asked him next time if I encounter them again. As far as I understand the law, it was 2010 and newer. Everything has to be compliant now, because 2010 is the first year of the regen, the DEF, not the DPF. I think the DPF is 08, which were grandfathered in until recently. Now you can't do that anymore. He said without that engine tag, that is meaning the placard, which we all have, that is a $300 fine, and it's a fix-it as well. It's a correctable violation, but the fine is outstanding. You pay that regardless, and then have to replace that tag. When I was back there on the reefer, you guys didn't see that. It's the same thing. If you're pulling refrigerated, it also has that tag, and that is a 2020 unit. Oh, and what was the other? Oh, I asked him about the check engine light, and he said that's that can be a red tag. That's what I asked him. Am I red tagged if I'm non compliant with emissions? He said no, but it's more of a correctable violation, a fine. He said there was a 30-day span where you have to pay the citation and show proof. So he said I need an invoice from a shop showing it's been corrected. He didn't say anything about having to bring it in for a physical inspection. He also, as far as the check engine light, said that would shut you down. I don't know if you could hear him, but he said they had to shut a truck down coming out of the port, but it was non-compliant emissions wise, but he said it also was not meeting safe to go down the road. I didn't ask him. I assume the brakes, steering, you know, all the other things that you can be red tagged for. So that's interesting. I don't know if you could read their vest. It did say C.A.R.B enforcement. He was not armed that I saw. He wasn't carrying. The DOT officer was, but that's what they do. Because our DOT in this state is also California Highway Patrol, CHP, so he can do normal traffic stops as well. I don't think they usually do. They're usually kind of for us. But they are, they're sworn officers. They get the full kit. So that was interesting. I'll be honest, I wasn't really stressing because, like I said, I have that luxury as a company driver that as long as I'm personally not doing anything wrong, a lot of it falls on the company. Not that I want to cause bills or headaches for them, obviously. And we do have a pretty good shop and decent maintenance. And it could always be better, right? But as far as safety issues and compliance, they are pretty on top of it. I have driven a truck around with a check engine light on because this is a Cascadia, and anyone who's ever driven a Cascadia has driven it around with a check engine light on. So that was interesting. I wasn't aware that was an automatic fail. That's something to consider. I didn't ask him if it has to be the red one or if it could be the yellow one or whatever. But it sounded like if it's in D rate, that would put you in violation. So that's what we're living with now. And if you are trucking in California, especially if you're an OTR guy coming from out of state, be aware that's something that can happen. And if you want to get into the semantics of is it legal for them to be inside your truck, he never set foot in or on my truck. He didn't climb on the catwalk to look at the reefer. He just looked at it from standing on the ground. I opened the hood and the cover on the reefer. He had me close the hood. He just visually looked at it. The only person who put a hand on the truck at all was the other gentleman who plugged into the OBD port. But technically, I opened the door. He didn't put his foot on the step or anything. So he just plugged into the port holding his own equipment. So I wouldn't say he really touched the truck. I know there's a lot of debate on this, whether that's legal, whether they have the right to do this or not. And like I said, I have no reason to argue with them. I was pretty sure. I mean, equipment wise, I know I'm compliant. They didn't do an opacity test. I did see the equipment sitting in the van, so they could do that. The sniffer. They didn't do it for me. He seemed to be mainly focused on the onboard diagnostics of the truck as far as the check engine, and they took their little reading. They went back there and watched it and watched the real-time data. And, these trucks, they pretty much will snitch on themselves at this point. And I don't know how the deletion, I know there's different kinds of deletions, but as far as I know, they'll all get popped on that ECM. Okay, yeah, you just come on over. That's fine. I had my blinker on. You just speed up and pass me. That's cool, Toyota. Oh, those Tacoma drivers. Anyway, this has probably been a long video, but hopefully that's interesting to some people. It was definitely interesting for me, and I'll go through this, and hopefully some of the audio is audible and discernible. And if you have any questions, I mean, I've pretty much just showed you everything I know about it. That's my first dealing with it. But if you have any follow-up questions about the experience that I didn't cover here, if you're concerned about running into this or just want some heads up, feel free to reach out. As always, in the comments or daycab82@gmail.com. I'm not a fan of this going on, but it is kind of interesting times to live through and truck through, right? Because if it's happening here, we all know the other states are going to follow suit. And yeah, I guess that's trucking. I wonder what happens if you pull in with an electric truck. I imagine that's an automatic pass. I don't think an electric truck could be non-compliant since it doesn't have any internal combustion. Although I suppose if it's pulling a reefer that's diesel, then you'd still have to do the test. They did not hook up to the port on the reefer at all. All they did was verify what year the engine was. And like I said, that was a 2020, which is well within standards. And I said it earlier, and now I'm forgetting it, but I said it earlier. I believe he said anything over 25 horsepower is what counts. So I don't know what that's about. Someone's probably more educated than I am. I think that might be an exemption on APUs. It carves out some kind of niche where if it's under the 25, it's exempt, or maybe it's a different standard. I don't know. Now I'm curious, though, so I'll probably try to learn about it. Anyways, this is very long. We're not going to make it to a bridge today. My apologies. We're in the vicinity of the bridge, and you can enjoy this lovely, lovely people walk. People walk? The thing I'm driving under. It's a pedestrian overhead transportation system. Anyway, all right. Y'all be good. Let me know if that's something you found interesting, or if it was terrible, or now I'm a bad compliant sheep. with the leftist agenda of CARB. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Be safe.